guys, today's video is going to be all about Benefit's new brow products. Every single day this week I'm going to be showing you something new. It's all going to be in one video, so you know, you don't need to worry about that. But I'm going to be showing you something different from the Benefit brow products. I have tons of products to show you. They sent me a huge box and I thought, what better way of showing these products than actually using them. So I'll be blogging them as well and showing you them on my blog, kind of before and afters, and giving a little mini review. But I wanted to actually show them in action as well. So the one that I've picked out to use first in this video is the Precisely My Brow Pencil. I've got them all in different colours as well, so we'll see how this works. And maybe let's not judge them on the colours because I didn't choose them myself. This is shade 2. And it says it's going to be a very, very fine pencil. If you look on the back, it's going to be one of those twist up, very fine mechanical type pencils. Wow. So all of the packaging has been kind of revamped and changed. This now looks like an arrow. I think that's really cute, actually. It's kind of met a bit of a divided audience, it would seem, on social media. Some people really, really like the new packaging and some people hate it. I'd be interested to know what you feel about it, or how you feel about it. I'm not sure. Some of the products I think look really good. I think this is pretty cool. And some of the ones that we've seen before that have been repackaged, I actually liked more how they were packaged before. So yeah, but let's see what this has inside. So twist up the end, I'm assuming. Oh no, okay, no, that's not the right thing to do at all. Okay, so there's a spoolie on the end and you twist this little bit here. That makes more sense. I don't know actually what I ended up getting there because I lost focus halfway through, but I really, really like this. If you are into non-waxy, a little bit harder and more difficult to go wrong pencils, I think you'll really like this. So first impressions for this one are very, very favourable. I like it, really easy to use, and way back when I tested out tons and tons of brow products, this was the kind of thing that won for me. I wanted something that was very, very, I want to say kind of dry. I don't really like the waxy pencil. And when I was very, very blonde, I wanted something that I could create really, really natural, not too dark brows with, and I think that this would have been absolutely perfect for that. So if you're into that, this is probably the one for you. Today we're going to talk about the Ka-Brow, and this is in shade 2. It's a cream gel, apparently, with brow colour and brush. So I think the brush is in the top section. It's pretty cool. Got a little integrated angled brush. And then in this here, somehow, I will manage to open. Oh, there we go. Must have been slightly sealed. And then there is a little kind of cream brow product in there. If you can hear in the background, I have two boys, a furry one and a non-furry one, in the room with me today. But I'm going to try this out. I really quite like that. That looks really natural, and I really like the colour for my hair right now too. Very, very easy to use. The brush was actually okay. I probably wouldn't use this if I was at home. I'd probably just kind of give this a wash, put it back in the packaging, and use it if I wanted to take it with me somewhere, because a long angled brush would definitely be easier to use, a little bit more user friendly. But it did work if you needed a brush on the go, or if you didn't want to have to purchase another one, it was okay. And the formula was very, very nice. So as well as that, because I've gone for a slightly bolder brow and a little bit more makeup today, I thought I would try out the Highbrow. There are two different versions of the Highbrow. There's Highbrow and the Highbrow Glow, I believe it's called. Hang on, I have it just here. I will let you know. Yes. Highbrow Glow. So I'll swatch them both for you. I'm going to use just the regular Highbrow right now because everything I'm wearing is pretty matte. And I'll show you the difference between the two. So there's the Highbrow and there's the Highbrow Glow. Regular Highbrow is just a matte, and the other one has kind of like a sheen to it. And this is not a new product. This is something they've had for quite a while. I think both formulas. And I don't know whether or not I really ever got along with it, but I'm going to try out the Highbrow just kind of in that area where you would want to highlight. I think it will go quite nicely with the eye look that I have on anyway. So I'm just going to put a tiny amount there and use a brush to blend that. I really quite like that. It does give a highlight, but it's not so kind of shiny and shimmery and the highlight that I wouldn't necessarily normally want to wear, but it definitely defines and helps make that a little bit more of a crisp arch when you put that very, very pale pink, but still matte and natural looking colour underneath there. I really, really like it actually. I might use that more often. Today we're going to be trying the Bravo Conditioning Primer, and this apparently is something that you can use underneath your brow products, but you can also use it in the evening. And the Gimme Brow, which I already love. With the Gimme Brow, I only have shade 1 In the new packaging it looks like this, but I'm actually going to use Focus. I'm actually going to use the old packaging because shade 1 is a little bit pale for me now. I don't feel like it defines all that well, whereas shade, I'm assuming this would be shade 2, maybe it would be shade 3 in the new packaging, is a lot deeper and gives me a lot more definition. So I'm going to switch to that one, but it's identical. I have kind of tested it out and it is identical. Brushes are the same, formula's the same. They've got that kind of fibres within the gel situation going on. So this is the new product that I've never tried before. It's a twist up. You can see on the end it's a little bit of an unusual product for you to put in your brows if it focuses on the product. You see what I mean? It's got that kind of stubbly little thing on the end. So I'm interested to see what the texture of this is like. It is literally just a gel. It looks kind of blue. So in theory, it says that you can use this on your brows overnight and it will help them look thicker and fuller over time. Whether that works or not remains to be seen. I think that's probably how I'm going to use this and do a little bit of a test. I've been wanting to test out my Rapid Brow again because they got a new tube of it, and I was going to do kind of a 4-week or 6-week test and show you how that was working. But this might be a little bit more interesting because it's a new product, so I may do that to see whether or not it really does help to thicken my brows or make them grow any. I don't think this is necessarily something that I would use underneath brow products because I tend to use pencils or these brush on things rather than powders or creams, and this is supposed to help, it's like a primer for your brows, help it kind of lock it in and promote longevity, which I think maybe would work a little bit better with powders or gels or creams than it would with pencils and the brush on products that I use. So I don't think it's necessarily suitable for me to be used in that way, but I'm using it now just to kind of give it a try. But I will definitely keep you updated if I feel like it's actually doing anything for me long term using overnight. Next, I'm going to apply the Gimme Brow, and this has basically been my kind of go-to brow product just because it's so quick and easy. If I'm not wearing a tremendous amount of makeup, I can kind of get away with just a little bit of something. Definitely gives me a little bit of definition, and it tints them, makes them look a little bit darker, a little bit fuller, but it doesn't look unnatural. So this has been my really, really quick brow for quite a few months now, and that's pretty much all I would do. I think it's amazing for what it is. Also brilliant if you want to put that on top of a pencil product or a cream product to give a bit of texture and make it look a little bit more like you've got really naturally bushy or thick brows. But on its own, I do think that this works in a little bit of a darker shade better than the paler shades though. I feel like the paler shades, not all that really. I was never really so completely enamoured of it until I started using the deeper shade. Today's brow product is going to be the Goof Proof Brow Pencil. Now I believe this was in a magazine, I think it was Elle this month, that you could get a free one of these. I don't know whether or not it'll still be available by the time this video goes up, but much the same as the other brow pencil that I showed you. It's got a pencil end and a spoolie end, and this twists up the pencil. The difference being that this is now an angled pencil instead of one of those real fine mechanical pencils. It's more of an angled one, a bit more similar to the Smashbox one I used to talk a lot about, but got a bit of a strange tip. It's kind of like a diamond. We'll see how it goes. This is in shade number 2. I don't think I like this colour as much. I think this is really quite warm. I don't know if that's picking up on camera, but I think that's like a little bit orangey. Not loving the colour. The texture is okay. It's a bit creamier than the other pencil, I think. Not quite as dry, and kind of a little bit, I mean, it doesn't feel quite so creamy when I'm putting it on my hand. I really had to kind of scrub it to get a decent colour, but it felt softer. It felt a little bit more like the texture of the actual cream and the brush than the previous pencil that I used. Not sure about that. I think that it's okay. The actual applicator is okay. I prefer the finer nib of the other pencil. Today's brow is going to be the Browsings, which I believe is completely unchanged to the old Browsings, just slightly different packaging. And now it's got this kind of funky little nozzly knob thing on the end. I don't want to say a knob thing, but you know it is. You open it like that. I quite like the packaging on this one. It feels a bit more substantial than some of the others. And then on the inside you've got a wax. Hang on a minute. You've got a wax, a powder, a brush, two brushes, and some tweezers. I like that you've got 2 brushes actually, because then you can use one for each and you don't need to be worrying about putting the waxy brush in the powder, do you? That's quite funky. Oh my goodness. Game changer. Look at this brush. So it looks like it's 2 separate brushes, but it's one brush. so much easier to use a brush that's actually longer. That's an awesome idea. I can't even believe that. That's like literally the best thing I've ever seen in a little brow kit. I find it really difficult to use the little stubby little brushes, as I mentioned earlier in the video, but this is awesome. Right, so the shade that I have, I think is 2, it is. On the back it says totally taming and shaping kit for brows. So I'm going to do one of my brows and see how easy it is. Okay, that's the wax. I think that's really, really warm. I think that's actually quite orangey. I don't know if that's picking up on camera or if you agree, but I'm not a big fan of that. Let's see how it looks with the powder on top. These are not going to be the world's greatest brows. I'm not good with powder. But like, unless I did a really, really dark inner brow there, you can still see the really orangey wax, which is not my favourite. I don't love that. I'm gonna have to wear that away a little bit and just use some powder, hopefully, to make it look less that colour. For ease of application, I like this. I think it's a really good idea that they've got the little tools in the kit with it. I quite liked the wax. I liked the idea of the wax and then the powder. I've not actually used a tinted wax before. However, I really, really don't like the shade of the shade 2. I don't like the colours in it, for me. Whether or not it would work if you had kind of red hair or a lot warmer hair. I know that my hair kind of is warm, but I'm always very, very conscious of it because for the longest time I've been looking for cooler tones when something is very, very warm, and I think that this one is. I also just used a setting gel, but I forgot to film it. I was talking, but I wasn't filming it. It's the Ready Set Brow. It looks like this, and it's got a little comb. Please excuse my nails, they are horribly chipped and I haven't had time to take them off yet. Well, I'm not going to take my nails off, but you know what I mean. Looks like that. And I basically just combed it through my brows, and I think it's given them a slightly more kind of messed up, natural texture, which I like when I've used any kind of powder to make it look less like I've just got powder brows on. It has, however, taken off a little bit of the powder there, giving me a bit of a bald spot, which is not ideal, but I do quite like it. And if I was to use a gel, I like that this is a 24-hour invisible shaping gel. So in theory, if you do have problems with whatever it is that you're using on your brows staying put, this might be a good thing for you. So I believe we only have 2 products left, I believe, if my memory serves me, but I will go through the clips and just make sure that I've covered everything before I do the conclusion. So fingers crossed this is the final brow clip. As you can see, I already have my brows on, and I actually used the Ka-Brow. I actually really, really like this. It's very, very quick and easy to use. And again, it was the shade 2, and I used the teeny little brush, which is not my favourite, but I did. The only thing with using any kind of cream brow product or kind of gels or whatever, when you kind of do that very bold Insta brow, is it can look really one-dimensional. The product that I'm going to show you on top of that is the 3D Brow Tones. And this is a really unusual product. I've never seen anything like this before. It's actually metallic. I have tried this. When I first got the set, I thought, I have to try this. This is so bizarre. I don't think this has a shade. Oh no, I'm telling a lie. It is shade 2. And it's a subtle brow enhancing highlights. Reflects, oh no, that's French. We don't need to read that part. But subtle brow enhancing highlights. And I first got it and I thought, oh, it's like a pale brown, like a golden brown. I'll put that on. It's not focusing at all. Absolutely point blank refuses to focus on that. So I thought it was like a golden brown colour that you'd put on top, like a gel. It's got a funky little applicator. It's got the regular kind of brush, and this end is called a comb end. Not entirely sure what that's all about, but there you go. But it's actually kind of a bronze colour. It's got some glittery metallic flecks in it, which is totally bizarre. So the idea is that you comb it through your brows like so, just like the brow gel that I showed you yesterday. Although, even as I'm doing this, I do feel a little bit, can you see that there? I feel like I'm picking up the brow cream. I don't know if it's just me being like really paranoid that I'm going to do that. But I don't know how light you could be without potentially affecting what's underneath this. And then I'm going to use, oh, okay, the comb end lays down more product. So I think that that is what the comb end is all about. Plus, I think maybe the comb end does not shift what's underneath quite so much. So there's the difference. This, I think, just generally looks a little bit lighter. And maybe a little bit more dimensional than the other one. And the last product is the Highbrow Glow. We used the other Highbrow the other day, and that was the creamy matte colour, and this one is the Glow. So I thought, since we were already putting a bit of metallic on the brows, why not put a little bit of metallic underneath them? as I said before, the kind of more high sheeny underbrow highlight, or really highlight in general. I think maybe I would do this in the corners of my eyes or something, but under my brow I prefer the creamy matte one. But if you do prefer something a little bit more shimmery, I don't know if that's picking up in this bright light, but this is an option for you as well. So that's everything that Benefit has launched. Please ignore this. I'm working on something. I'm trying to make something happen. So yeah, let's ignore this kind of ratchet background that's going on right now, and talk about my kind of highlights from the range. I wanted to take a few days and really think about it, use some more of the products a few more times, go back over the clips and actually kind of look at how I applied everything and how everything looked on camera as well before I came back and filmed my conclusion clip. However, I kind of didn't really change my mind about anything. The one thing that was a standout hit that I was really surprised by was the Cabrow. I've used this so much since I've had it now. I was not expecting to like this one. I thought, oh, that's a nice thing they've included. Lots of people like that, you know, that kind of brow. People like to use the creams and gels now, but it's never been a really, really quick thing for me. It's always been something that I would save for a night out, or if I wanted a particularly bold brow. I've been using this on a daily basis almost. You know, I don't wear makeup every single day, but this is the one product of everything that I showed you that I've been reaching for most often. Which is really surprising, and I think part of the reason is because they've got the brush in the cap. I know that I said that I didn't like the brush in the cap, but the fact that it's just there, if I see this on my dressing table, I don't have to think, I have to find a brush, I have to make sure it's clean. This is a brush that I know that I've used with this product. Worst case scenario, it's a little bit crunchy and it needs kind of a little bit of a wash, but it would do. I know that it's only ever been used with this. I know that there's no like glitter or anything on it. And it's just there. It's not ideal. I wish it was longer. I wish that this kind of extended or something. You know, like the other one does, the one in the browsings, how that opens up. I wish that they did something where this could pull out and become a longer brush or something like that. I think that would be a really cool idea. But I've been using it and it works really well. Love the colour, love the texture, love everything about it. That would be my favourite. Kind of second, close second, would be the Precisely My Brow Pencil. I think I have these in both shade 2, and I like the colours in both of them. Both a nice kind of, a dark blonde, light brown, cool toned shade. Really, really like this. And again, this is, it kind of gives that similar, quite natural brow, but very, very quickly. And it's not too waxy, it's not too warm. I really like this. This reminds me a lot of the MAC pencil in Fling that I liked for a long time. Third brow product would be the Gimme Brow. And this is my still go-to, in a bind, very, very quick, probably work brow, I would call this, which is the opposite of what other people might think of as a work brow, but it's my work brow. It's my really, really quick sweep through, put a bit of mascara on, ready. I don't wear a tremendous amount of makeup on a day-to-day basis, but if I was wanting to put a little bit of makeup on and didn't want to spend a long time doing anything else, I would put a little bit of Gimme Brow through my brows, and that would be it. So that's it for kind of brow products. I do know that obviously with everything there are going to be lower cost dupes, and we'll get into that in a different video. I know that Essence do a good version of this, but I really need to kind of test them out and do some real kind of good trials against each other before I'm going to tell you that it's as good, because the ones that I've tried in the past haven't been. So I know there will be cheaper versions out there, and we'll get to that. The other product that I wanted to mention that is not technically a brow product is the Highbrow, and that's the highlight that went underneath the brow there. Really like this, and again, I've been using it so much more than I expected that I would do, because again, it's so easy. It's just a really quick and easy product. It's something that is still quite neutral and matte looking. It doesn't need to look particularly done. I don't need to feel like I've got a lot of makeup on to wear it. It just kind of finishes the brow, and especially since I've been using the Cabrow, which is quite a bold brow for me, it does just kind of finish it and crisp it up and just make it look quite nice. So they are my standout products, my 3 favourite brows, and then the extra accessory. The other gels and stuff aren't really my kind of thing, purely because I don't tend to set my brows with anything. If I did do a powder, maybe I would use one of the gels, but I didn't love the powder that I had purely because the colours weren't for me. If you guys have tried any of these products already, I don't know whether or not they're out yet. I know I've seen them in certain stores, but I don't think they officially launch until this Friday. So let me know if you've tried them and what you think about them. or if you've tried any of the products that I've mentioned in a previous form from Benefit, then leave us a comment below. And also if you tried the Goof Proof brow pencil from Elle. Lots of things that I saw in social media was that the pencils that had been put in the magazine were really, really dark. So I don't know, I'd be kind of interested to know if you actually bought Elle for that and the pencil wasn't quite the shade that you wanted, because I didn't see anyone that was happy with the shade of the pencil that they got. It looked like everyone got a dark shade, which was a strange choice, but again, interested to hear from you in the comments. And hopefully this has been interesting or useful for those of you who were interested about the new range but didn't know much about it. I will leave as much information as possible in the information bar. Information, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!